Are you a highly sensitive person? Welcome to my channel, Habit Compass. Have you ever felt like you just experience things, well, more, louder, brighter, just way more intensely than everyone else around you? Well, in this video, we're going to dive right into the fascinating science behind why some people are quite literally wired to feel the world so much more deeply. Take a quick second and really ask yourself, do you, or maybe a close friend or your partner, just seem to feel things with this unmistakable intensity? Maybe loud, crowded rooms completely drain you, or a random piece of music moves you to your core, and other people just kind of look at you like, what's the big deal? You've probably been told you're too sensitive a million times. But what if that sensitivity isn't some sort of character flaw, but a very real, distinct biological reality? Section 1, the 20% minority. Let's jump straight into the numbers to see just how common this trait actually is. So look at this breakdown. We're talking about a very clear, distinct minority here. Roughly 15 to 20% of the population falls into this highly sensitive category, leaving the other 80 to 85% with what we'd call average sensitivity. Guys, that's nearly 1 in every 5 people. It means this group is fundamentally, biologically wired to feel the world more deeply. It's not a weird anomaly, it's a completely natural, significant chunk of the human population. Section 2, the highly sensitive person. Let's transition into how science actually categorizes this experience. We really have to credit Dr. Elaine Aron for this one. She actually introduced the formal concept of the highly sensitive person, or HSP. And honestly, this was a massive breakthrough. It finally gave a name and a scientific definition to this incredibly intense way of living. Being an HSP simply means you process sensory and emotional signals way more intensely than your average Joe. It completely validates having a rich inner life and being super responsive to everything going on around you and inside you. Now, here is where it gets really fascinating. Think about a random signal hitting a crowd, maybe a blaring car alarm or even just a really sad commercial on TV. For the 80% of people, that signal hits and it fades super fast. They just shrug it off and keep walking. But for the 20%, the HSPs, it's a totally different story. When that same exact signal hits them, they are visibly moved. The feeling doesn't just bounce off, it lingers. It creates this lasting internal glow. They absorb the impact, they hold on to it, and they process it on a completely different level long after the event is over. Section 3. Inside this sensitive brain. To figure out why that lingering glow happens, we've got to look at the biology. Here's the absolute kicker. This isn't just an emotional quirk or something you can just snap out of. If you literally look inside a highly sensitive person's brain, you see unique physical differences. Researchers have found significantly increased activity in very specific regions, namely the insula and the mirror neurons. These physical centers are basically working on overdrive the second an HSP encounters a stimulus. And that right there perfectly explains the why. You see, those exact brain regions, the insula and the mirror neurons, are directly linked to how we process and feel empathy. Because highly sensitive people have stronger activation in these empathy-linked areas, they don't just rationally understand what someone else is going through, they practically feel it in their own bodies. That intense processing, that internal glow we talked about, it is quite literally hardwired into their brains to foster deep empathy. Section 4. Not broken, just deeper. Let's see how this completely changes the way society views sensitivity. Their brains aren't broken. Honestly, this is the most empowering takeaway from all of this data. For your entire life, if you're an HSP, you've probably been told to toughen up or that there's something wrong with you for reacting so strongly. But the science tells a totally different story. If you're part of this 20%, your brain is not flawed at all. It is simply functioning at a much deeper, much more empathetic frequency. You are literally built to absorb, to process, and to care deeply. As we wrap up this video, I really want you to think about this. How does understanding the sheer biological reality of this 20% change how you view yourself, or how you view the sensitive people you interact with every single day? Imagine how recognizing sensitivity as a profound biological strength, rather than a weakness, could completely change the way we connect with each other. If you learned something new, subscribe to the channel for building better habits through navigating Compass, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.